This is my extremely scientific test to cover 4 relatively popular catfish rods. On the far end, we have a 7.5 foot BNM Pro Staff bumping rod, heavy action. Next up, we have a 9.5 foot Whisker Seeker, heavy action. Third, we have a Katz Patriot 2.0, 7.5 foot heavy. And on the very end here, we have a Katz Patriot 2.0, 7.5 foot medium. Let's take a look at the actions on each of these. Okay, got a 2.5 pound weight on the end of each one. Let's reel them in and see what the action does. We're going to start with the 7.5 foot B&M heavy bumping. That's the BNM. See if we can focus that a bit. Moving on to the 9.5 foot Whisker Seeker full metal jacket, heavy. Katz 7.5 foot Patriot 2.0, heavy. And we'll get you a little bit higher. Finally, the lightest action rod here. This is a Katz Patriot 2.0, 7.5 foot medium. I'm slipping a little bit here, but not bad. Yeah, we can still go with that. So we see the medium, the heavy, 9.5 foot heavy, back there, 7.5 foot heavy action B&M. The actions between the B&M and the Mad Cat heavies really close to the same. You see the big Whisker Seeker has a much longer arc. And then let's lower us down a bit. Yeah, B&M and the Whisker and the Mad Cat heavy are just about identical. You can definitely see the much lighter action of the medium. Okay, that wraps this part up. So now that we've taken a look at the actions, let's talk about my thoughts on the rods. I guess let's start with the Mad Cats. I like them enough. I bought 6 of them altogether. The mediums are fantastic for channel cats and smaller kitties that you're not really worrying about breaking maybe 30 pounds. They're great. I love them. I love the look. I absolutely love the look. I'm not a fan of cork, and I like the grip material on the Mad Catz. I didn't expect that. The crosscut foam feels really good in hand. It locks in. It's not annoying to hang on to. It feels good. You get a very solid purchase, and you don't have an issue when you're fighting a big fish. The heavy. If I fished the heavy before I bought it, I probably wouldn't have bought it. I bought the heavy with the idea of giant catfish, alligator gar, sturgeon, and it's outgunned at that. It is. I'm a little disappointed in it. It's not bad. It's just not quite up to that task, in my opinion. The Mad Catz fit my Penn US 113 Senators. Okay. It's not great. It fits. It's not happy, but it's there. Next, let's talk about the Whisker Seeker. It's 9.5 feet long, which is great because it can just launch giant pieces of lead out. It's 2-piece. Again, great because it's 9.5 feet long. The handle. I like cork. This isn't cork. It's cork-ish. Corky? Can we say that? I know some people have had issues with the material on the handles kind of falling apart and degrading. I haven't. It feels okay in hand. It's not great. It's okay. The action is decent. They cast a long ways, but I don't find myself having a whole lot of feelings on them one way or the other. They're great rods. They're solid performers. They do what they're supposed to do. But I guess I can't say there's anything that really stands out with them. The BNM. This one's a bit of a surprise. I bought this rod, well, two of these rods, for going on a bumping trip. And I can't say I was really a big fan of bumping. I think it's a fantastic way to lose a whole bunch of tackle. But the thing that came out of that trip was the fact that this rod is fantastic. I love the grip. The cork feels fantastic. Reel seat locks in great. The action is really good. It is super light. I mean, light. And this rod casts amazingly well. I actually took this rod on a muskie fishing trip. And after I did, I debated canceling my order of my St. Croix muskie rod. This rod cast all day, had no issues. Wasn't exactly a complete total cannon launching out monster whopper ploppers with my Tranx 400, but it did it. It did it well. It didn't make my shoulder want to fall off. It was a nice rod. And I do kind of like it. BNM, as a company, are a little different. They put out almost no information on this rod. So it's a tough one. I've heard some people say they've had some issues with breakages. I have not. I've fished this rod a pretty good amount, but normally it's made for bumping. That's not what I've done with it. So, yeah, a little different, a little special. What can I say? You can have one rod. Only one. What would I pick? That's a tough one. For being universal, if you plan on using it for more than one species, I'm going to go with maybe the B&M. I think it's able to pull multiple duties and wear several hats. It's not necessarily the best at any one thing, but it gets the job done. For Smaller catfish, the Mad Catz is fantastic. The Mad Cat medium. The Mad Cat heavy, I would probably pass on unless you're really launching an extreme amount of lead and you need it. Well, it's tough to say. If you're targeting larger blues, larger flatheads, but you're not getting into 150 pound, 200 pound sturgeon. The Mad Catz are a lot of rod for the money, as is the BNM, in my opinion. The Whisker Seeker is just kind of one of those weird rods where it does everything okay, but it doesn't tickle you at all. It's just kind of there. And that's not a bad thing. If you can ignore it and it's doing nothing to stand out as bad, you can't really hate that. It's giving me no reason to dislike it, but it's also instilled no real thrill in me to fish it. The Mad Catz, I love the look of them. I want to fish them. The B&M, I love the feel of it. I want to fish it. The Whisker Seeker, I do fish it because it's utilitarian. It works. It tosses out giant pieces of lead. It's got the backbone to fight most any catfish I've ever encountered. So I don't know what one I would say I would get. I think it's very individual. I don't think you would be disappointed with any of them unless you're kind of touched in the head and you buy a catfish rod thinking you can go for sturgeon, which, yeah, I did that. Did it do horrible at it? No, but it's probably not the best tool for the job either. Do any of them fit my gigantic Pen 113s really well? No, they don't. But again, not really what they're designed to take either. So keep things like that in perspective. All right, I think that pretty much takes care of all my thoughts on these guys. Hope that you guys enjoyed my endless, aimless rambling on the topic of fishing rods. Hope it gives you some clarification on maybe what your next purchase will or won't be. Guys, take care of yourselves and each other. Have a great day.